It's recording.
All right, I see. Yeah.
So, we are live. No, we are not. Yeah, hello and welcome. Thank you for taking your time to have talk. Ewan wanted me to ask you if you would like to take part in this little podcast project of mine. And thankfully, you said, yeah.
Yeah, my pleasure.
So, would you like to introduce yourself and how you got into the hobby? Or how long have you been into it?
Sure. My name's Joe, aka Armageddon Bound on Instagram. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. Well, I live here now. I got into the hobby, I think around 9 or 10. A friend of mine introduced me to Warhammer Fantasy, but we couldn't really afford all the miniatures all the time. So someone got me a start, like a painting set with Ultramarines in it. So I started there. So I painted 5 Ultramarines, of course.
The old one with the like half-sized pots.
Yeah, the one that just stand like this.
Yes.
I still have them too in a display case. I bronzed them basically. Oh yeah, those are the ones. And then I got more into it as I got a little bit older. I think I stopped around 14 and got back into it when 8th edition came out.
Yeah.
I met some friends in New York that actually were like gonna get into it for the very first time, and I was like, oh, I have experience.
Yeah. Did you stop completely, or had you been like just still buying White Dwarf here and there, or painting a mini here and there?
I stopped completely. I actually started reading some of the Salamander novels just for fun. So I would like continue to read some of the novels here and there, but I didn't paint or pick up a mini again until like 3 years ago. And at that point, it was like starting over completely.
And then it was your friends starting to get into the hobby, and you were like, yeah, okay, maybe once in a while.
Yeah, yeah, it happened pretty fast. I bought 1 tank, and then the next day I went back and I bought 500 points worth of Imperial Guard. And
that's the way.
Basically just like, I don't know, I just tried to relearn everything I thought I knew.
Yeah.
Which is hard.
Yes, it is. But when after a break of several years, I think it's easier to start anew than like doing the same thing for like 20 years in a row and then doing a paradigm change.
Yeah. I mean, all the tools, especially in the paints, have, in my opinion, improved. I remember my parents wouldn't buy me primer spray paint because they thought I was going to spray paint the walls or something. Mm-hmm. So all my old minis were just, I had to layer so many layers of paint on them for it to stick with no primer. So it was just like, they're all just goopy, So even just having primer now is like a game changer. I actually learned how to thin my paints,
Yeah. Yeah, I just learned that recently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes
using primers was great. For the first time, it was like, wow.
It makes a huge difference.
Yes.
Yeah. And Zenithal too. That's been fun to learn. Although I don't do it too much. Sometimes just on like regular characters or not my whole army.
Do you prime with an airbrush, or do you use a spray can, or both?
So I started with the spray can, and then I bought an airbrush and tried that for a while. And that just took too long. I hated the whole cleanup, like breaking it down and putting, everything, and like you spray 2 models, then you have to clean it all the way through. So I just went back to the rattle can actually. I prefer that more. I just can do it really quick and it's done.
Yeah. Only thing that I would that I'm missing is that they offer spray can in XV88. That would be amazing.
Oh yeah, that is the brown, right?
Yeah, the tar brown.
They just made one of my favorite colors of all time is Rune Lord Brass, and they just made a spray can of that, and I'm really excited to try that one out.
Yeah, I didn't even know yet.
Yeah, it's like I think it was released alongside the new Necrons.
Ah, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe we can. Last time Ewan pitched for the purity seals on his brew. Maybe we can somehow get the word out that they make more different spray can colors.
I would love a Demonette hide spray can. That's my one I'm looking for.
Yeah,
it's like a light purple.
Nice.
Who knows?
Yeah, I have about 3,500 points of Avalanders for Warhammer Fantasy waiting to get painted. And yeah, I need the brown the brown primer. Maybe I can ask a friend to do it with an airbrush. Oh,
yeah.
Doing it by hand would take forever.
Yeah, I don't even want to think about that.
Yeah, and initially you said you got into it when pretty early as a child.
Mm-hmm.
Where was the next? Was it a full-fledged Games Workshop store, or was it a hobby store where they were selling stuff?
So it was actually a comic book store. They had one wall that was just all of the metal blister pack. I actually have one hanging up right here that I would keep just for fun. But yeah, it was like, this style just all along the wall, and I was just like mesmerized by that. So I would like
what was it? Which menu was it? Was it Imperial Guard guy, or what is it?
This one is Emperor's Champion.
Okay, yeah, now I see him.
Yeah, I haven't got around to painting him yet because I kind of like him in the pack still. But I don't remember. I think the first one I got was actually a las cannon Ultramarine, the one that just like has the thing like, he's really stiff and he's just holding a giant gun on his arm.
Nice. Yeah, I really like the shoulder-mounted heavy weapons.
Yeah, although they like didn't really work for me. If I remember, like it didn't sit properly. But I also had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah, of course.
Gluing plastic to metal was beyond me.
Not using the correct glue and just getting it to stick somehow.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was just crazy glue at the time. Whatever, like super glue was in my house.
Yeah, for me too. I remember when I got the first bigger models, which was the Marauder Giant or the High Elf Prince on the Griffin.
Mm-hmm.
I must have slapped like tube after tube of glue onto him because I had no idea of putting pins in. I was just like trying to get it to hold. It was,
I mean, I learned how to
so much.
Do pins like 2 years ago. I had no idea about that at the time. I wouldn't have been able to do it anyway. Like I just didn't have the tools.
Yeah.
I think my parents expected this hobby to just be, you just put whatever glue was in the house on whatever, like a glue stick or something,
Yeah.
Like I
put
don't
on
know.
Enough of it, somehow it'll stick in the end.
Yeah, we have it at home. It's fine. Like, yeah. No, you don't.
And so your first army was Imperial Guard, right?
When I got back into the hobby, it was.
Okay. Which was your first one? Or were you just like buying random minis?
The first one was Ultramarines. I wasn't very creative, I guess. I just like kind of like looked through the book and just had the paint tutorial there. And just seemed the easiest thing to do. Of course, at one point, I actually got the third edition box set that is infamous with the Dark Eldar and Black Templars.
Yes.
And all those minis were painted Ultramarines, and I really regret that. But what can you do? And I still have the box, and I have all the minis from it just behind me, but they're all just caked with blue and weird yellow gold colors. And I was thinking about repainting them, but that would take forever. I'm going to leave them as they are.
Yeah, and back in the days, no one thought about like stripping the paint off, doing it was like layering to get one of the Marines that you know from the memes, like please kill me.
Yeah, exactly. I think you can still see part of the red bolt guns that I painted under. I eventually wanted to make them black, so I painted black on top of it and just really gunked them up. But you can still see parts of the red under it.
But it's cool that you still have it.
Yeah, I actually brought it with me every place I moved, just in case I ever wanted to try to play a game of 3rd edition again. But for years, I couldn't find anybody that wanted to, or had the patience to learn.
Yeah.
And I couldn't remember the rules either.
Yeah. When we played for the first few years, I think we made every mistake possible. But, I mean, we were kids, we were having fun, so where we didn't get the rules, we just made up our own.
Right.
It worked somehow.
I remember playing a friend on his pool table in his house, and we both started at either end of the pool table, and it took us 5 turns just to get within range of each other, basically.
Yeah.
And we were just like, half the game is just moving. It's just going to be fun like this. But I don't think we knew what we were doing. We were just like, I think you roll a 3 and it hits you. Who knows? I can't even remember like what I was thinking during those games, but it was fun.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it was all in English, and I was just like I just had English for 2 or 3 years in school or so. So it was hard to get through it anyways because of all the technical terms. Yeah. And then later on it worked somehow. But I hardly played until like 10 years ago or so.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Was mostly collecting.
Right on. Yeah, I think at one point my mom dropped me off at the mall, and I went to a Games Workshop store, and I had all my miniatures with me, and I just did like a pickup game, I guess. I must have been like 11 or 12. And I remember I played this older guy, and he did not help me at all. He just totally decimated me. And he like didn't help me learn the rules at all. He just wanted to win a game, and I was like, all right. And I just thought that was so funny at the time.
That's how you get new people into the hobby.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly like that.
Why would I want to play anymore if this is how it's gonna be?
Yeah.
You know? But it's a funny memory.
Yeah. What got me into like building a real army instead of just buying random minis was we had a German version of the White Dwarf and an English version of the White Dwarf, and I live very close to the Dutch border, and they had the English versions. So the first minis I got was also in a comic stop in the Netherlands, and I can't remember, of course, which issue it was, but in the English version they introduced a guy from Canada who was working at the one of the Games Workshop stores in Toronto, Jake Velmix. I just found him on Instagram the other day.
Oh, really?
On Facebook. Yeah, and he's still into it, and he had an incredibly huge and very well painted and converted Chaos Army. Especially back in the days when pretty much everything was out of metal.
Right.
It was very, very cool. And then when I was 16, I went to Canada for a holiday with my parents, and we went to Toronto, and I was in the Games Workshop, and they still had the army in the window.
No way.
And it was like,
that's wild.
Yeah, and I went in there, and I was, my name's Dennis, I'm from Germany, I saw you in the White Dwarf, and I like fanboying out. And those guys, they were so friendly, and of course they wanted to sell something, but yeah, right. They were very, very friendly. And that got me into like, I need to build an army. That's cool. And went on from there.
I feel like when you see one miniature, it's like, it's pretty cool, but when you see the whole thing come together, the whole army, it's like you just can't resist. Like, you have to just make that your own faction, your own army. Like, it's such a cool feeling to build like a force like that.
Yeah, and that opened my mind for conversion and kit bashing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but you don't see that much nowadays, especially in the codex books, but in the old army books and codex books, and in the Mordheim core rule books, there are always a few pages where they showed conversions of the guys who were working on this, and
I think in the Black Templars second edition codex, they have I'm going to get his name wrong. I think Darren Latham, right? One of the sculptors. So. He has a kit bash like Emperor's Champion in the back of the Black Templars, and I just remember they had the whole page that just had like models you can't buy. That looked really cool. Give you ideas for whatever.
Yeah,
kind of missed that.
And when you got into it and started the Imperial Guard army, which regiment was it?
Another mistake I made, I went with Cadian just because it was available, you know?
Yeah.
Although I really, really wanted to do Death Corps of Krieg. It was just available, and I just got really sick of it really quick. I loved painting the tanks, but the infantry was torture. Yeah. I never want to paint khaki pants ever again in my life.
I guess.
But I loved painting the tanks, especially the Forge World tanks. It was also an army that I didn't really have much fun playing, because you just kind of sit in the back and you just shoot. All my friends hated me because I would just park my tanks in the back and they would just march toward me and I would just shoot them off the board. So I didn't really have much fun with that. It was fun I love painting the tanks, but I actually just sold that army. So just to start new.
Did you already do any conversion work on those?
I tried to do a lot of I tried to add a lot of bits to the tanks. I think I'll shout out the Steel Legion on Instagram. He makes some of the best Imperial Guard conversions I've ever seen. And I watched a lot of his videos and his like little tutorials, and I just tried to copy him sort of, but I just didn't have a lot of the bits that I needed or wanted, or it didn't really work out quite as well as I wanted to. It took me a while to like really figure out what paints I need to use, like or like weathering, So I didn't do much, honestly. I made it to play, and then I just kind of gave up after a while.
Did you get into like the weathering and stuff through the guys that you restarted with, or was it by like browsing the internet, Facebook, Instagram, something like that? Someone in the game shop?
Instagram, I think. I became really addicted to like browsing people's profiles on Instagram, seeing what they did. Sent a lot of people messages. I know that Ewan already talked about this, but just like everyone is so friendly. Like everyone I messaged answered me within like whatever amount of time, and like were super helpful. Told me what they were using. gave me tips and pointers. Like it was super helpful. That's like, I think my advice to anyone is like, don't be afraid to ask anyone.
Yeah, pretty much everyone. Maybe because no one is really living of it.
Right.
No one needs to hide his secrets. So.
Right. But if you have a Patreon, then of course, like, charge whatever. Yeah. But for the most part, like, it's the same with me. If you message me, I'll tell you whatever cheating I'm doing. You know, like however I can achieve the look that you want.
Cheers.
Cheers.
So, which army did you sell your Imperial Guard for?
Well, I haven't really decided yet. I just sold them to make room on my shelf because I have so many Black Templars right now.
How many points? Do you count?
I haven't counted yet. It's well over 3,000. I know that.
Nice.
Maybe more. But I kind of haven't counted yet. I was going to do that over lockdown, but I just couldn't get myself to pull everything out and then put it back. It was too lazy even then.
Yeah.
But yeah, I try to start Tyranids over lockdown too, and it's really fun, but I don't know if I want to do a Horde army.
Mm-hmm.
Just too much painting.
Yeah.
Of repetition, you know, like I love painting, but I don't want to have to paint the same guy over and over and over again.
That's why I got into playing Kill Team.
I'm sorry?
That's why I got into playing Kill Team.
Oh, right. Like 12 guys or less sometimes.
Max was 6
really?
For me. Yeah. And the other day, a friend had 3 Terminators.
3.
We play between 100 and 120 points, plus some kind of a leader character, which is about 80 to 100 points. So very small armies. After painting the 30k armies, which are somehow always end up as mass armies, I couldn't get myself to doing like bigger projects. Okay, the Everlanders for Warhammer Fantasy. This will be a big one, but I think Warhammer Fantasy armies need to be big.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, like, I think like with 40k, most of the armies are supposed to be like elite anyway. You know, like, what do they say? Like, it's rare to even see one Space Marine in like your life if you're like a regular citizen. So, I love the idea of a giant Warhammer Fantasy battle or a Warhammer Fantasy army, though. That sounds great.
It looks amazing.
Yeah. Are you going to do it on square bases too?
Yeah.
Good. That's awesome.
Yeah, I didn't. I never played a game of Age of Sigmar. The minis are the quality of the minis is amazing, in my opinion. But I don't like the aesthetic of it. It's too World of Warcraft for me. Most of it, of course.
I agree.
I think the Night Goblins look amazing. The Skaven look amazing. I mean, it's pretty much like old school Warhammer Fantasy, just on round basis. But the new dwarves and Stormcast Eternals, it's not my cup of tea.
Yeah, I agree. It's too kind of steampunk for me.
Yeah.
And if that's your thing, then cool. But
yeah, of course. I mean,
I just like more grim.
It's good for everyone who gets into the hobby, but yeah, most people, besides from Warhammer Total War, they hardly get. They're missing out on something, I think. Let alone the aesthetic of like big square regiments who are pushed over a table. This has very unique appeal on its own. Good night, mate. Wife just went to bed.
Right.
Yeah, you hardly have. There are so many skirmishers out there, but there's hardly anything like old Warhammer Fantasy.
Yeah, I really haven't played too many other games. I don't even think I ever played. I might have played one game of fantasy, but I was so young. I don't remember what I was doing. But I remember I bought a game on PlayStation. It was a Warhammer Fantasy game, and it was so hard. But I remember that all of the characters in that game move in squares, so it was really fun. But you can only move like diagonal or forward, and I love that movement. Like all the banners and just like the square formation, just like screams Crusade.
PlayStation 1?
Yeah.
Was it Dark Omen?
Maybe. I think so.
Played it on PC. It was incredibly difficult.
Yeah. It was very strategic, and I just couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, me neither. Even with cheating.
Right.
it simply didn't work for me.
Right.
But I also suck at the current one, the Warhammer Total War.
Oh yeah, I haven't played that yet.
It looks
I don't
amazing.
have a computer, so.
Even on easiest setting, I suck.
I'll have to get a PC to try it out.
Yeah, it's worth it. It's fun nonetheless, but yeah.
Right on.
Don't know. I think probably there's some. I didn't look up any walkthroughs or tutorials or so. Still tried to figure it out on my own, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe it works a little different than on the tabletop, or I'm too stupid. Maybe both.
Maybe you probably just don't have enough time to really sink your teeth in to actually.
Yeah, I guess.
I feel like with those games you have to spend like 60 hours before you even really figure it out or something. That's a lot of time.
Yeah. So yeah, you're doing mostly Black Templars right now, and also pretty on a kind of a regular basis. You're uploading a lot. Are you fast? Would you say you're fast, or?
Yeah.
Your minis don't look like you're fast. They are very, very intricate.
Thank you. I joined a league recently. Like we were doing like social distance, like mask wearing games, of course. Because things are a little bit more lax in New York, of course. I won't even get started about everything in the States, but it really helped me like paint miniatures quicker to like get them on the tabletop, you know. But I still, of course, want to put love into them and everything. I'm also a night owl, so I stay up really late at night, and like spend hours. But I got better at like batch painting, sort of, you know, doing one color here, one color there.
Batches of how many?
I usually only do two or three at a time. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like my paint scheme is pretty simple. I only use, you know, like it sounds like a lot more than it looks like, but I use like 17 colors on average, and I don't ever use any new colors or kind of like stray from that plan. So it's just kind of like muscle memory at this point, you know?
Yeah, me too.
I like to keep it like simple.
Streamlining the work process immensely.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, I mean, like Black Templars for the most part, pretty simple, black and white, and red, and you know, and metal, of course. But yeah, I'm guilty of I haven't been putting as much love into them as I want to be. I think.
Really?
Yeah, I think I'd like to do some more, make them more unique, each individual model. And I feel like I've kind of just making them, they've become more vanilla to me, and I want to get back to customizing each one more, I think.
Yeah, I know that feeling. It started for me when I got the first assault intercessors,
Hmm.
but I was kind of like done with the Black Templars project anyways. So there I just mostly just switched arms, heads, and backpacks. But yeah, they're still pretty nice. So you would like to like build them up from top to bottom, you know?
I think I want to. I don't know. I think I just need to add like maybe some more bits. I feel like I've been not using enough on them, but I also kind of like simplicity. You know, for the most part, I try to switch helmets on almost all of them.
Yeah.
Some of the Primaris have the regular Primaris helmet, but I really love the old helmets. I really love the old like shoulder pads, you know, that have the Black Templars insignia on them.
The sculpted ones.
Yeah. I prefer those over decals, honestly. Yeah, just like little parts, like more. I've been really looking for like more. What are they called? Purity seals and stuff to put on, kind of like more flair. And I'm not good at. I've never sculpted, so I haven't done any of those yet.
Nothing.
Yeah, I haven't even tried. I really. It's kind of embarrassing.
Now that you say it, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't really even recognize.
Yeah. My biggest influence with the Black Templars is I really love the old school look of them from 3rd edition. And then I kind of wanted to modernize them a little bit, but not too much. So my inspiration for that was just like take what I saw in the 3rd edition codex, you know, of those Black Templars in the photographs, and just make them look dirtier, more grim, and more my style, but without doing too much to alter them.
Yeah. Especially when I did mine, I looked a lot at the 3rd edition cover art, and I recognized there hardly anyone's wearing tabards.
Yeah.
Also, the sword brother with the serrated edged knife and I think he has a plasma pistol.
Yeah.
And usually every version of a sword brother, do you say sword brother or sword brethren?
Either one I think works. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So they always wear like tabards, especially now as the blade guard were introduced.
Right.
But yeah, why not?
Yeah, I love the simplicity of. I actually have the book right here. I pulled out a bunch of my influences, but you know, here it is, where it started.
Yes.
But yeah, like you said, like most of them are simple except for the characters that have the tabards, and I love the tabards, but I couldn't be bothered. I like painting the Aquila, you know, and I just like the look of them without the robes, I guess.
Yeah, especially they are not Dark Angels, so
yeah. There
can be optical difference.
Right. I love the Dark Angels too, by the way, though. But yeah, they wear a lot more hoods.
Yeah.
I
don't like the newer over-the-top models. Like all the Primaris Dark Angels, everything they brought up, I really like, especially the captain with the winged helmet, like this one, you know.
Yeah.
Because there is also the old school metal Dark Angels captain who looked exactly the same, just smaller, like this one. But there was a time when they made these Terminators with the giant clubs and maces, that was too over the top for me.
Right, it's just too much going on.
Yeah, I preferred a lot cleaner.
Right. I feel like a model that has nothing on that you can add on to is always better than having to take things off, you know?
Yes.
Like, even some of the models from the Indomitus box, I loved all those sculpts, but I had to take a lot of stuff off of them. Not too much, but there was just too many parts.
Yeah. I only I just bought a squad of bikes from eBay, and I'm still not sure what I'll do with them. And I bought 4 Indomitus assault marine squads to convert them. I wouldn't know what to do with all the rest. Maybe a chaplain, but I think building your own chaplains is so much fun. I wouldn't know what to do with them. Not really.
Yeah, I'm trying to collect all the chaplains right now, just because I want to paint them all. But yeah, I think I still need the jetpack guy and some of the old pewter blister pack ones.
Mm-hmm.
But there's so many. I also don't have the newest, the Primaris with the hood, or the chaplain with the hood and the skull face. I think I'm going to get him, but convert him heavily because I don't like the way he looks.
Yeah.
Even his Crozius is like too small. It's like he has like a pool stick or something.
What do you think about the Executioner?
Oh, I love that model. I changed the head though. I didn't like the head at all. I put the
head change.
I put the helmet with the visor flipped up on him, and it makes him look way more stoic and knightly. But yeah, that model is great. I even love the like old samurai look of him, like with one of his arms out of his robe. I was watching Lone Wolf and Cub recently, and he does that every time he fights. He takes the one sleeve off, and I was like, "Oh, that's a cool little like hint." It's like old samurai film.
Yeah,
I really love that.
I love them. Like, yeah, all the old Akira Kurosawa movies. Amazing.
Yeah,
I just recently got back to watching old Hong Kong action movies.
Oh yeah.
Return to the 36 Chambers. I just watched the other day.
Classic. Yeah, it's so good. I like go through times where I just like have to watch all of those, and then I have to take a break from all the gore and then watch something else, and it's fun though.
I love like doing a detour. I love how did you watch the Mandalorian?
Oh yes, yeah.
The Ahsoka Tano episode, which is like 1-to-1 Yojimbo reminiscent.
Right. Yeah, it was that second season was phenomenal.
Yeah,
some of the best Star Wars recently, which is great.
Yeah,
but I love all those.
I can't stand it, but she didn't understand why I was sitting there like, what?
Yeah. I really love that they brought so much of the. I mean, that Mandalorian also is very reminiscent of Lone Wolf and Cub. Very samurai and very spaghetti western, like two of my favorites. So it was perfect.
Yeah, same here. Love spaghetti western. Had a big collection of samurai and spaghetti western DVDs, but no one's watching them anymore. Everything's available on the internet.
Right.
Yeah. What did make you decide to start Black Templars? I mean, I thought in the last 2 episodes we hardly spoke about the Grimdark aspect of it, but it somehow came up naturally because it hardly gets any more Grimdark than Black Templars, and the 3 of you who I spoke to so far are pretty much the Black Templar guys. So But did the Grimdark thing appeal to you before, and then you thought, yeah, man, that's it? Or did you get into doing Black Templars, and over that, and being influenced by the Black Templars artwork and so on, and the background and the lore, did you dive more into the Grimdark aspect of the hobby?
Yeah, so when I decided I didn't want to play Imperial Guard anymore, I was like, I'm going to pick up Space Marines again because the Primaris look kind of cool. Like I want to paint like a bigger one, you know?
Yeah.
So of course I was like, what am I going to paint? Like what chapter? And it was so funny, like hit me like a ton of bricks, like duh, Black Templars, you know? I have this artwork I've been staring at for 15 plus years. I've always loved. It seems relatively easy to jump back into because it's like, you know, black colors and like white, you know. And then I remember I found his name is Sinan Adamar. I'll send you a list of these too, 'cause I don't know if I pronounced that right, but he paints some of the most beautiful Black Templars ever. They all have gold trim on every edge highlight, and heavily converted, super grim, super dark. And I just fell in love with his models, and I just started messaging him immediately, asking him all these questions. And the first model I painted, I just basically copied his step by step, and I loved it. But then I was like, okay, I don't know if I could do this for every single model. So I just kind of figured out my own style. But yeah, it was, the artwork is just like from the 3rd edition, really set that in stone. And then seeing him do it was just like really solidified everything. It's like, I have to paint these models. These look so cool. Also, Black Templars are crazy people. They are the most insane, I think. Like, if you want to talk about a bad guy in the 41st millennium, I think it's them. You know, like,
I think they are at least up there, like top 5 or something.
Yeah, I mean, like, everyone says like, oh, chaos, you know, like, no, like, these guys are crazy people. Yeah. And I couldn't be more opposite than them, you know. So of course I was attracted to that. You know, you always want to root for the bad guy, like you like the opposite of you. Just the religious, like, zealotry and like fanaticism, like, I just think they're crazy, and it's kind of fun to paint, you know. There's so much like just room to work with them. You can make them look super religious. You have the Crusades to be inspired by. Just so much to work with.
Yeah, that's something Dietmar Dalian spoke to me about, and I didn't actually realize it until he said it. It's like, just what you just said. There are several ways to do your Black Templars. Because I do. That's the coffee machine. Sorry.
That's all right.
I do medieval reenactment, and we do Knights Hospitaller. So it was, of course, I wanted to do something into this, and I put very big emphasis on doing the crusading aspect, as well as the zealotry with the pyre on the burning heretics on the land raider I built, and giving all of them those medieval the haircuts, you know, with the fringe, and That's absolutely crazy on the one hand, but on the other hand, they are in many aspects way more liberal and free thinking than other Space Marine chapters, for example. They don't stick to the codex. When a crusade comes together, it's pretty a democratic way how they are put together. It's just who wants to join joins, who doesn't.
Exactly. Also, I remember reading somewhere that you know how like every chapter is kind of like, oh, we're the shooting army, we're the melee army. I love that Black Templars are like, whatever we can use to like win, we'll use. So they don't care about using guns, long range, swords, whatever it is. Like they just want to kill and win, like purge. So they have like everything at their fingertips to use, and they use it, which I always thought was like, why would you just stick to? Why would you not shoot if you could use a gun? Like. Plus, you can make them look almost chaos, which is cool. Like spikes with skulls on their back, like totally. There's so much room to work with them.
Yeah. Yeah, there was this one, I can't remember which novel it was, but there was somewhere it was mentioned that they were like fighting for days, and all the black was almost scratched off the armor because of all the movement and rubbing off and fighting, and they were just like standing in plain steel armor, stuff like that. Yeah, there are a lot of ways how to portray them.
Yeah, I love that.
When did you get pumped?
Oh no, go on. I'm sorry.
When did you decide to do the Black Templars?
I think it was a year in August, so about a year and a half ago.
How long had you been back in the hobby then?
I think that would have been a full year, honestly, because in between Imperial Guard, I stopped that and I started painting Emperor's Children, Chaos, and I did all those by hand because, like I was saying earlier, Demonette Hide, you can't really find a rattle can, so I was painting all the purple by hand, and I just got really, really sick of it quickly. But that was just kind of more of like, it actually reminded me when you told me you went to Toronto, and you saw the Chaos Army. I remember playing against a Chaos Army when I was younger, so I tried to replicate that as best of my memory.
Yeah.
But I wasn't as in love with it as much as like when I started painting the Templars. I felt like I was doing it like out of I was like forcing myself to paint at night, which I never wanted to do.
Mm. But looking at your Emperor's Children, I don't think I've ever seen something purple so menacing looking.
Oh yeah, thank you. It took a lot of trial and error to get that.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just the other day, I had been painting with a friend of mine who's also doing. He had been working on the Emperor's Children Noise Marine with the guitar. Yeah. And it's very bright purple. Yeah.
That was the thing too, with every Emperor's Children army I saw, it was so bright. Every army was so bright, and like I wanted to like make an actual dirty kind of purple and gold chaos army, and I thought I did. I eventually ended up like achieving that look, but it's on pause right now. Maybe until they get new models, because I can't paint any more of the small guys with the resin guns. They're just no good.
Yeah, I mean the 30K Emperor's Children from Forge World, they are all amazing, but they are even smaller than the Games Workshop stuff.
Right.
The Citadel ones.
Yeah, they're super
amazing for bits, but
yeah. I try to avoid resin when I can, honestly. Not my favorite.
It can be a pain in the ass.
Although the Leviathan Dread and the Contemptor Dread I just finished recently, those were great models. I love those resins.
Yeah.
They were a lot of fun to work with.
Yeah. So far, since they introduced the Contemplar, I had to build and paint at least one for each project because I love them so much.
Yeah,
and
they're
the
cool.
Leviathans, I mean, they're pretty expensive, but I have one for the World Eaters and one for the Iron Warriors, and I play them every time.
They're so much fun.
Leviathan in Drop Pod, the best.
Oh, do you use the like Forge World Chaos Drop Pod?
Yeah, the slightly bigger one. Yeah.
Right, the like Walker thing or whatever.
I have pretty much all drop pods. I have the regular ones. Then I have Dreadnought drop pods.
Okay.
2, I think. I have 2 or 3 Dreadclaws, and the big one, the Caliptis drop pod.
Cool.
25 infantry. I use them for my World Eaters.
Oh, awesome. That's such a cool... I love that idea of just World Eaters dropping in. 'Cause there's nothing more terrifying than that.
Yeah. I just the other day I read somewhere that this is supposed to how spacemen should work. Just dropping them in somewhere, using the shock tactics. What's it called? The transhuman grief or something? Like the shock that space marines cause on the mind of normal people who just can't grasp, like seeing giants moving lightning quick, just tearing apart everything in their way.
Right.
Transhuman. I can't remember it.
I can't remember either, but I know what you're talking about, and yeah, that sounds. I was reading the third book of the Horus Heresy, when they like finally start fighting each other, the World Eaters versus oh man, I'm totally forgetting. It was so long ago.
On Istvan?
Istvan, yeah, I think it was 3, right? Yeah, and they're just talking about Angron, like just ripping through everyone, like his own guys, and then like a building collapses on him, and he just like climbs out of the rubble and is just so mad. I was like, that is the scariest thing I've ever heard. Like,
yeah. Did you read Betrayer?
I took a break after the third one to start reading Dune, but I need to go back to Horus Heresy. Yeah,
Dune is on top of my reading list, but I don't read, so it's on my audiobook list. So yeah,
it's hard to find time, honestly, between painting and work and life. I can't sit still very often.
There is no in between painting work and life for me. I just on my way to work and on the way back, and when I paint, I really enjoy listening to audiobooks. Just finished Emperor of Mankind the other day.
Oh, right on. How was that?
Amazing. Especially the end. It's about the war underneath the Imperial Palace in the Webway, and it's so epic.
That sounds crazy.
I don't know if you want to get spoiled, but there are a few things happening. Do you want to get spoiled?
I don't mind, but I don't know if anyone listening would want the spoilers. So
okay, then skip ahead like 3 minutes or so. They are closely to losing the battle underneath in the Webway after like 10,000 custodies had been fighting there for like 5 years, and shortly before it's like everything's going to break down, Big E shows up with his flaming sword, summoning his demons or so, like Space Marines, burning Space Marines, the spirit of the fallen Space Marines from Istvan. They are and the spirits of the dead Custodes, and they are led by a giant with iron arms and in fire. So it sounds like it's the Legion of the Damned, who are led by Ferrus Manus, the Legion of the Damned Primarch now. It's amazing.
Wow, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, I hope they ever bring out minis for that.
Yeah, that sounds incredible. It reminds me sort of like the end of Lord of the Rings, the Return of the King, like all those that ghost army that they summon.
Yeah,
that sounds awesome.
It was. And all the build up, which is most of the Black Library 30K novels, they take the time, and then it just flips and hell breaks loose.
Right.
This was definitely one of the better ones. I mean, I hardly had any ones which were not good. I didn't like the Fulcrum one.
He's like, it's funny. I like the Emperor's Children a lot, but also like Fulgrim, I don't care either way, really.
Yeah.
I kind of like Lucius more, honestly. He's crazy.
Yeah.
Lucius the Internal, total psychopath.
Getting killed
seems like
every now and then, just coming back.
Yeah. He's cutting himself like crazy.
When I spoke to Ewan, and when I asked him what part of the hobbies he's into, and he said, yeah, he's pretty much just into painting and building. He hardly ever, I think he never read a novel, and he just played one game. So you're doing the whole thing, right?
Yeah, for the most part. Right now, I'm really into the gaming part. I'm trying to get better because I've never been really that good at it. So with this league, I think I went. I think I went 10-4 or something. So I lost 10 games. I won 4, but I was winning more towards the end, which means I was learning, which is
nice.
Cool. Yeah. But yeah, I'm trying to get better at playing, I think, because, I could paint all these all day, but if I don't use them, it's kind of, I want to be able to use them on the tabletop.
Yeah.
And I really love setting up that, I really love, recreating the looks, like the battles. It just looks so cool, like having 2 armies on a table. You just can't like beat it.
Yeah.
And dice rolling is just fun in general. So.
Yeah, which is always a disaster for me.
Yeah.
I'm just rolling straight ones.
Do your dice match your army?
Pardon?
Do your dice match your army?
Not really. I had a set of Iron Warriors dice until I just bought them, and then right afterwards, an hour later or so, I lost them. But I have blue, white, and red dice for my World Eaters. But cool. That's it.
Right on.
Yeah. You? Do you have the Black Templars dice?
I don't have the actual Black Templars dice, but I have black and white dice for them, just to keep it in uniform. I always find that the dice got to match the army. I get really particular about that kind of stuff. But
yeah, maybe I should try that. Maybe I would roll better.
Who knows? At least it'll look good. Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, when you kind of do the whole thing. So how do you run your Black Templars? I haven't played since they played 40K since they made 8th edition.
Okay.
But every now and then I look up on Facebook, for example, how Templars are running, and every time I have a look at it, it says that Templars are pretty much one of the lowest ranking armies in 40K right now. Does this match your experience?
They definitely weren't the best when I was playing, but they have some tricks up their sleeves, you know. They're like their special doctrines are like re-rolling charges and advances, so they definitely want you to go forward, you know.
Yeah.
So a lot of people lean very heavily on melee, and chaplains. Chaplains are really good for Black Templars. But like I said earlier, like, you know, they want to have access to everything, so it's pretty balanced. I run 2 squads of Blade Guard veterans because those guys are beasts. I've been running Vanguard veterans with Thunderhammers and jump packs. They can usually take out a tank in 1 round of combat, which are great. Lots of troops. I kind of like to keep it thematic, you know, like I feel like every picture you see of Black Templars, you don't see too many vehicles except for like maybe a Land Raider. So there're just a lot of troops on the board. And that kind of helps. 9th edition is very objective, secured, you know, like focused on the missions. So when you have troops everywhere, you really have to like, you know, remove them, and it's kind of hard. So a lot of troops, a lot of fast moving jump packs and bikes. I've been running attack bikes, which are really fun. You know, like the old like trikes. They just look so cool. They're really small though compared to everything, but they're really good. So it's like Meltas and Thunderhammers and Chainswords.
Can't go wrong with that.
It's fun, yeah. It's like all the 3 or 4 weapons that you can't find anywhere else.
Yeah.
So it's fun, yeah.
As you just said, you prepared for the reference you use. Yeah, you said the 3rd edition Black Templars Codex was a big inspiration for you. What else? Do you mostly lean on visual reference? Also maybe outside of the Warhammer hobby, or do you also get inspired by novels and or other books and stuff?
I actually pulled out some books just for reference so people can see. You know, the 3rd edition Codex, of course. I look through this every day almost. Like there's something new in here I find every day. This is one of the oldest ones. I really love this book, the old Armageddon book. This is very Black Templar heavy.
I need this one. I don't have it.
Yeah, it's really thin, but it's great. Of course, this is the regular Space Marine Codex from 3rd edition that I really love. It has Black Templars on the back too. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, I mean, honestly, just a lot of 40K books, the old codexes mostly.
Yeah.
Of course, I go through like old, you know, books about knights because Black Templars are basically knights, you know.
Dürer?
Sorry?
Albrecht Dürer? Stuff like that?
I'm not sure I'm familiar with that.
German Renaissance. He was a painter, kind of one of the first cartoon artists, I would say. He did etchings, and I think the most known work of his is the praying hands. You know these?
Yes. Yeah.
This was from him, and lots of other stuff. And yeah, very. I think John Blanche took a lot of inspiration from his work.
I think I'm sorry.
No, when you look at he did a lot of etchings on the Bible, for example, a lot of crazy stuff, and you can, especially in the John Blanche stuff, also the Warhammer Fantasy Imperium, the Empire, and the Mordheim stuff, it's heavily influenced by it.
Yeah, I think that now that you mentioned it, I saw an exhibit on him at the Metropolitan Art Museum in New York.
Mm-hmm.
And he had like some demons. Like I think he did he do the Gates of Hell too? Maybe one of them. Maybe it was like part of the exhibit. But I love that stuff. If I ever need inspiration too, I'll go to the museum and just look at old suits of armor, or the banners, or the old the Renaissance paintings, because those are great. None come to mind off the top of my head right now, of course, but I could spend all day there just like looking and like just seeing one thing. I'll go home and try to make that into a model or put that in a model. Also films, a lot of films. I think when I was watching the interview with Ewan, our taste in films are very similar. Lots of 80s sci-fi and 90s sci-fi. Of course, Terminator. If you look at my bases, there's a skull in almost every single one. I can't get the opening scene out of the first two Terminator movies out of my head. Yeah. That's the most grimdark thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
That was before I even saw 40K. Yeah, films. Every film. There's a film, I don't know if you've seen. It's called Hard to Be a God.
I don't think so.
I think it's a Russian film, and it is one of the craziest things I've ever seen.
Oh, okay, yeah. I think I saw a trailer on YouTube.
Yeah, it's in black and white.
Yeah.
And it's just the whole thing is the camera is right up in your face, so you're just pushing past people, and it's super claustrophobic, and you're just wading through the mud, and it's it's supposed to be a medieval town, but it's on a different planet in the future. Mm-hmm.
Do we have these?
Oh no, I've seen those before. Those look awesome though.
Yeah. They are pretty amazing. It's further rules and a lot of background on the first one is about Dark Angels, Emperor's Children, Iron Warriors, White Scars, Flash Terrors. And then some more. And the second one is about Space Wolves, Imperial Fists, Sons of Darkness, whatever this is. Angels of Death, which is probably Dark Angels. Sons of Darkness is Night Lords.
Oh, cool. I love Night Lords.
Yeah, me too. Then Grey Knights, Black Templars, and yeah, it has a Black Templars army list. I think it's like a trimmed down codex or something.
Was this for like a campaign or something?
No, they were just an add-on.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. This book is an add-on for the Warhammer 40k game. You need to buy all the rest to use it correctly. Blah blah blah. Yeah, and it also has one chapter just about chaplains. And then there are different chaplains are introduced and a lot of background information. Pretty cool.
Yeah, right on. I'm gonna have to look into those. I've been really wanting to buy the I think it's called The Emperor's Will, that John Blanche art book.
Yeah.
I see it sometimes online for like $70 to $100. So I might just have to. Yeah, I mean,
it's like this big.
That's great. I need to just pull the trigger because I keep looking at it. I might as well just buy it. I just won't, just not drink for 1 or 2 nights or 3 nights. It'll be fine.
Yeah. Some of the books, they are so expensive.
Yeah.
Most of the time, I really I'm lucky. I got right before the second lockdown in Germany. I bought the Imperial Armor 9 and 10 about the Badab Crusade.
Oh, cool.
In the case.
Right.
Unfortunately, without the poster, but it was an okay price. Saw them for like 300 on eBay, and I paid 150. So yeah, it's okay.
I mean, like at this point, we've talked about these books for like so long anyway. Like how much the third edition codex is like, it's priceless. Yeah. So if there's like a book that's gonna inspire me or other people to like make cool conversions, like I think you can't really put a price on it. Maybe like $100 really. I would pay $100 for the third edition codex again if I didn't have it. It's a great book.
Yeah, same for the Mordheim core rulebook.
Oh yeah, I've seen a few people with that, and that looks really cool. Also, the old Inquisitor codexes look really, really awesome. Yeah.
There's only the Ordo Malleus and Ordo Hereticus, right? I think Ordo Xenos never got their own one.
Right.
But yeah, I also have the first ones of these. And again, lots of conversions and background, very nicely written. Amazing.
Yeah.
But spoken about books enough, I think.
Yeah.
Speaking about conversions, and as you said, you always, or right now you are feeling that you don't give enough love to your minis. When you start working on a mini, is there an idea in your head how you want it to look, or do you just go with the flow?
I do a lot of research on Instagram before. I'll like look at the hashtag for that certain miniature, or just like peruse like, you know, all the people I follow and see if they painted one before. And then sometimes I'll just see, like look through the codex and see what I don't want to do, you know, and kind of like work that way, like work backwards. Also, I'm always looking out for like third party sometimes, you know.
Yeah.
Like for the Terminators I just finished, I used some shields from Spellcrow, and they're so much cooler, honestly, than the kind of little small shields that they come with.
Yeah, they're kind of funny. I wanted to do 2 minis with storm shields the other day, and I looked in my bits box, and yeah, all the original ones, they like the small crosses, just like here, and yeah, for when you want to do, yeah, for I think for Black Templars they work pretty well, but everything that's more like out of the box, for example, yeah, Flash Terrors or like the Carcharodons or Space Wolves, they don't work that well.
Yeah, they're too just kind of generic, and like they don't really scream shield to me either. They just kind of look, I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, I don't know. I really just I want to add skulls to everything, and I want to make it kind of grim and dirty and dark, and I just look at so many pages and kind of take parts from here and parts from there, and you know, try to add it all and make it my own style too, so I'm not betraying like my own version, you know. Yeah, that's basically it. Like just a lot of seeing what other people are doing, inspiring from them.
Yeah. Sometimes I just, when I see something on Instagram, I just write underneath it, okay, I'll steal that idea.
Yeah. I save a lot of images too on Instagram, so I can go back to it later. But sometimes I'll try it and I don't like it, and I'll just do my own version until I get it exactly right. Sometimes I'll just abandon that too and just try something new.
Yeah.
But you know, painting eyes, I've never settled on a certain way. For the eye lenses.
Yeah. It works, but hardly the way I want to. So it's like, yeah, it's good enough.
Yeah.
Just put it away. Next one.
Right. Yeah.
Eyes. Yeah, that's mostly for me with sculpting stuff. It's a tabard works, but yeah, the other day I tried to sculpt a hand because I'm always out of hands, and it didn't work at all.
Like
so long.
Like hands without like armor, or just with?
No, Space Marine.
Okay.
A gloved fist, but yeah, because I wanted to hold a pole weapon in a certain way, and it didn't work at all. So I just scrapped it, found something, cut it off, and sanded it the way I needed it to, and then it was fine.
I think that's like basically the most converting I do, honestly, is like I'll saw hands off of like old tactical Marines or something to like replace hands or helmets and skulls, and not too much, you know.
Yeah, I'm always having a hard time with arms, like poses. I hardly ever have the correct arms in my bits box.
Yeah.
Need to buy a new box of assault Marines or tactical Marines on a regular basis, because I'm running out of arms. When these, I have lots of them, right? But
right. Well, they're making them harder to even convert now, I feel, like with the mono pose and the way they like fit, or like I noticed on the assault Marine, some of them, like, you know, they attach right here or something, rather than having the whole arm.
Yeah,
it's kind of annoying.
Yeah, and then you have to saw off the whole shoulder, and then
Yeah.
But I mean, I think the Primaris, at least the bodies, they are huge improvement scale wise.
Yeah, definitely. They're so much more fun to paint, honestly.
Yeah.
Just so much to work with.
Yeah, they look so much better on the board, especially when you also have like not Primaris-sized models like Eldar or Imperial Guard besides them. Then you can see the size difference.
Exactly. Except the Imperial Guard heads will still be bigger because those models are so old.
Yeah, but I still have old Vostroyans, and they are pretty much the same size as the Primaris because of the tall heads, and they are so bulky.
Yeah, just like they're basically squats. Like
man. For what are your go-to tools for conversions?
I have like a razor saw that's been really helpful. Cuts like right through, you know. I use my knife a lot, you know. That usually does the job. One of my favorite tools though I got is it's this guy. It's a Tamiya hand drill, and this is the best thing I ever bought.
I've never seen it.
The coolest thing about it is when you buy it, it comes unassembled. So you have to assemble this like it's a model, and it comes on sprues.
That's amazing.
You can maybe see the screw marks. Yeah. So when I put this together, I felt like a real engineer. You know, it's like, I built a hand drill, and this thing rules.
I built this.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, that's my tip. Drill your barrels, everyone.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, there's no stopping you. It's easy. But I love that drill. I also use the Tamiya clippers. These ones are extra sharp. Nice. Yeah, they're great. They're super sharp. Yeah, that's it. You know, like I said, not too much converting, so the knife and that stuff usually does the job. But I don't know how to sculpt.
I need a drill like that.
Yeah, it's great. I think you can get on Amazon for pretty cheap.
Yeah, I'm using the usual hand drills, like these, but every other day they just slide off, and then I drill into my hand or just ruin a barrel. And I think a nice sharp drill with the electric one. It takes batteries, right?
Yeah, it takes I think just AA batteries. I still use the hand drill too, but usually that will just like kind of that's where I start. So I'll make the little like the notch, and then I'll switch over to that. It's just so much easier.
Yeah. For the notch, I use this one.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. A friend of mine recommended it to me like, I don't know, 4-6 years ago. Got it from Amazon. It's a Gratek. In German it's Dreikantscharber. Like it has 3 edges. It never gets dull somehow. It always keeps the point. And I've been using this one. I changed the tip once because it fell off, and because of the tempering, it just broke right off. So I changed the tip once. That's like 3 or 4 years ago. Very nice.
Right on.
And you can like scrape, and you can like drill little notches.
Oh, cool. I'll have to look into that. Yeah, because the X-Acto knife doesn't always. I can't always line it up perfectly. You know?
Yeah. And when I use the knife to scrape away mold lines, for example, I tend to scrape too much, and it never happened with this one.
Oh, right on.
Yeah,
I'll have to look into that one.
This will be the 2 special tool tips for the episode.
Yeah, there you go.
That drill,
It's so fun. Yeah.
And yeah, for painting, Ewan told me that everything except I think one game color or something he uses, everything is Games Workshop Citadel paints. What are your go-to brands?
I use a lot of Citadel too. Just easier to. A lot of my friends have it, so if I need to try out a color, I can just borrow it. So it's just kind of tried and true. I recently switched though with a lot of the metals to Scarecrow 75.
Yeah.
And these are great. These metal colors go on so smoothly compared to Citadel metal. So I'm all about the Scarecrow 75 right now.
Yeah.
I use a few Vallejo paints here and there, but it's mainly just like black and white and just pretty bland colors.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's basically it. Not too crazy. A lot of Citadel.
Yeah, I also found the scale ones on Instagram. Some people started using them. I looked them up, ordered a few, and I have like 50-50 also. Like some color tones I still prefer GW and also the scale ones. I don't think I think I have a Vallejo wash. That's it.
Okay.
Super happy with these.
Yeah.
You use wet palette, right?
Yes. Yeah. That was a big game changer. I still haven't switched out the sponge, and I've been using the same one for like 2 years now or something. It's gross. It's my girlfriend always jokes that I'm painting with mold because it's very moldy. I tried the penny trick; it doesn't work. But,
a penny trick?
Yeah, apparently if you put like 2 pennies, I guess like these are American pennies made before 75. They were actual copper, so it keeps the palette from growing mold, like from oxidizing, I guess. But it didn't really work out too well for me. But yeah, wet palettes are awesome. Yeah. Saves so much paint.
I just wash my sponge from time to time, and then when it starts to smell, just wash it, keep it on the heater for a day or so, and then he's fine again.
Do you keep yours in the refrigerator?
Not yet.
Oh, someone told me to put it in the refrigerator when I'm not using it, and so I keep it in there. It just keeps it wet, but maybe that's why it's
makes sense.
Yeah,
somehow.
But it's funny because like someone was like, "Oh yeah, if you just like want to use the paints that you're using the night before, put it in the refrigerator, and it'll keep it on there." But then when I take it out in the morning, the paints are just like way too watery, I think, from all the condensation. So out of habit, I just keep it in there now, so it doesn't get rotten.
Brushes.
I use a lot of. Let's see. My number one is the size 0 Winsor & Newton Series 7. This is my favorite brush, I think. And then I have like the 00 and the 000. And I use a lot of synthetics, like whatever I can use, really.
Yeah.
The Winsor & Newton is just like my go-to because it's tried and true at this point. But if it doesn't really matter to me, I can paint with usually anyone.
Yeah.
This is the game changer.
The big difference is that the fancy expensive ones, they just hold up longer.
Yeah, the Winsor & Newton ones last me months. Especially like when lockdown hit, I had meant to replace my brush, and they sold out for like months. Yeah. And I used the same one for like maybe a full year, and it was bad. Like it was really stubby and
Mm-hmm.
not sharp at all, but it still worked really well. But I think these two are my secret weapons. They're just Princeton select round blending brushes. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if you could see, they're kind of like
Mm-hmm.
uh, fat, but these are what I use for dry brushing, and these really blend really well. It makes it so they're not like, you don't get that like kind of scratchy look on your dry
Mm-hmm.
brush. And I love these. Like they just work so well. They're kind of like makeup brushes. Um, but yeah, I
Yeah, they
can't
look
recommend
very,
these
very
enough.
fluffy.
Yeah, they're very fluffy and they're cheap. These are like, I don't know, like $5 or something.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
then there's no point in buying a makeup brush.
Yeah. Yeah. These are perfect. Princeton round blenders, size 6 and 12.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you use a lot of washes?
Oh yeah. I mean, Nolan oil is my best friend.
Yeah.
uh, yeah, I go back between Nolan oil, Agrax. Um, I use every wash I think that GW makes here and there. That's kind of my secret. It's not so
Yeah.
secret. They just they do a great job, and they kind of mute the colors, and I like that. I don't really
Mm-hmm.
like the bright, vibrant colors, so when it mutes it and it blends it in more,
Yeah.
it just makes it look more worn in and used. Like the armor's actually been through some stuff.
Yeah. It's a
But yeah,
very nice matte finish.
yeah, definitely. Um, and it just like, especially with using those blending brushes, it really blends in the edge highlights because I don't do actual edge highlights. I just do dry brush, and so
Yeah.
the washes like just blend it together, so it makes it look more seamless. Like it's not like a hard edge,
Mm-hmm.
which I prefer.
Ever used or tried enamel wash?
Mm-mm. I've been meaning to though, because I know that's what Dietmar uses, um, and a friend of mine just got it, and he loves it. He swears by it.
Yeah.
I'm just worried that if I start using it, I'm gonna want to repaint every miniature that I painted. So I might
Yeah.
save it until the next army I start, and then try it from there.
Yeah. Yeah, makes sense. To give it like a cohesive look.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I don't like unless I strip all the color off. I don't like repainting stuff.
I'm never gonna repaint a model ever again.
Yeah.
Like I don't have time to. It never comes out well for me.
Yeah.
I've actually ruined models trying to strip them, so I just have to fix them as they are or move on to the next one.
Yeah. I want to repaint Land Rider. Land Rider Proteus from Forge World,
Uh-huh.
and it's painted, and I'm thinking about how to get the paint off.
Yeah, that's a resin. I've never stripped a resin model.
Yeah, they tend to get like soft and bendy.
Oh, really?
I don't know what actually happens. It's if they like take in some of the chemicals or something, and then they need to lay somewhere for a certain amount of time, and then they get solid again. But
Uh-huh.
yeah, like hard. But I tried it with Dettol, and I tried it with hand sanitizer, which works both pretty well.
Interesting.
But the resin minis get very bendy.
Yeah, I'd be way too scared to do that.
Yeah, and especially you need like liters and big especially the Dettol, it stinks, and you need a big for the whole tank. Would probably take forever.
Yeah, that
But
doesn't sound
on the
like
other
fun.
hand, it's not so flimsy. Maybe it wouldn't get bendy. Maybe I should just try it. And what's the worst thing that can happen, right?
Yeah, right. It's only a few $100s, right? Yeah.
We'll see. Yeah, the other day I have my world eaters. They are an orbital assault army with, as I said, just a few fire raptors and the 30k flying transporter and drop pods, and I have them all in a in a box, and it fell out of the what's it called? The thing where they were standing, and like everything broke apart.
Oh no. That's brutal.
Yeah. So whatever will happen to the Land Raider can't be worse than what happened to all the drop pods and stuff.
You know what? If the Land Raider doesn't work out, you should just turn it into like a really cool piece of terrain.
Yeah.
That's like my go-to if I ruin a model. It's going to be part of the board now. And like to make it look really cool.
Yeah, I just that's what I did with one of the drop pods.
Like, oh, that looks awesome.
Need to finish him, but yeah.
Drop pod accident sounds terrible.
Yeah. But yeah, I think somehow every drop pod assault is some kind of an accident. It's like, yeah, we need to land there.
Right. I can't imagine.
I think it's the most Space Marine thing you can do.
Right. I just like to imagine too them just like smashing completely through buildings and like landing in like a lobby of some like some tower or something and being like, is this the right spot? Like, like are we here?
Yeah. Did you see the Hell's Reach movie?
Oh yeah, I loved it. I constantly revisit it. I actually tried to model some of my guys after like those characters to an extent.
Me too.
They're great.
Yeah. The Grimaldos, he looks very differently than the original model.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I tried to make both, and then I wanted to do his the whole squad.
Yeah.
So cool.
Well, like Grimaldus honestly kind of has a Reaver helmet in that film. I think it was made before the Reavers were even brought out. So I put a Reaver helmet.
He looks pretty similar to the chaplain with the power fist, like that.
Yeah, I love that guy. I painted him recently, but he's so small. He's kind of like his legs are really tight together too, and he's like doing this move.
Yeah,
he looks almost like he's been crucified or something. It's really really weird.
Yeah, I switched his legs. I gave him Custodes legs. Worked nicely.
That's awesome. I love that idea.
Yeah. And is it his the banner guy who's wearing Mark V armor? I think so.
Oh yeah, right. I can't remember. One of them had the beak helmet. I remember.
Mm-hmm.
That was the jump pack dude, though, right? Or the guy that had the two swords.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was cool. I actually replicated that model except two chain swords and a beak helmet, because two chain swords on a Black Templar is like the most zealous thing you could do.
Yeah, and I built the Emperor's Champion from the movie.
Oh,
That's
cool.
My Emperor's Champion.
Yeah, he was awesome.
Yeah, the whole project is fantastic.
Right.
Every other day, I force customers to watch it with me.
I would love to watch that while getting tattooed. That'd be amazing. Usually just staring at the ceiling or something.
Yeah. Yeah, it's in my own shop, I can do whatever I want. So when UFC is on, we watch UFC, and when I'm like tattooing like STEM customers or friends. Especially, I also have a lot of customers who are into Warhammer and Games Workshop. We listen to lore channels or watch the fan movies.
Oh, that's
or
awesome.
studies.
Oh yeah, it's great. I mean, when this whole virus ends, I'm gonna have to come back to Germany and get tattooed by you. We can talk shop.
Definitely do it. Yeah.
Definitely make
Me and my
that work.
wife, we wanted to come back to the States for years, but yeah, right now it's kind of impossible.
We'll get there eventually.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
How is your workspace set up?
Well, as you can see behind me, I'm sitting in my living room, and I'm at my desk right now. So I just have like a small, like 4 by 2 foot desk. And everything's on here. I have like a little drawer under that has like all my bits and tools and stuff. But yeah, it changes. It's always set up though, which is nice. I actually was able to find a spot. My girlfriend is very supportive of my hobby, which is awesome. So she lets me just keep everything, all this Warhammer stuff, right in the middle of the living room. She usually sits behind me and draws, and we just like put a film on or something. And
she's also into arts stuff.
Yeah, she's a painter and an illustrator, so she's helped me a lot with some of these color schemes. Like I'll work something out and show her, and she'll like recommend something or like suggest something that I'll try, and usually works out. She knows all the color theory and everything, so
she also kind of has a natural understanding for and of your hobby.
Oh yeah, definitely. She's the biggest supporting factor in this. Like I'm very, very thankful and lucky because I have had friends that have been like, oh yeah, you know, my girlfriend kind of makes fun of my hobby, or like she doesn't want me playing games all the time. And like, that sucks.
Yeah, like, my wife's just patient with me.
Right on. I mean, like, I feel like it'd be maybe different if we, you know, if you have a family, of course, you have to make time. But as long as they understand the hobby, that's great, you know.
Yeah, totally.
It's a two-way road, so
yeah.
As long as it makes you happy, you could be in a lot worse things, you know. Like this is
absolutely
pretty creative.
Yeah. And especially now, since we're in the 3rd month of lockdown now, it keeps me occupied, keeps me busy.
Yeah.
And my daughter, she's like drawing and painting all the time. So we sit here in the living room. She's like, crafting and painting, and we've been painting models together.
That's awesome.
Gave her her first 2 Space Marines to paint, and Bowman for Saga, another game. Yeah, she likes it.
That's great. You should have her do your whole next army. Just sit back, just have her commission.
Yeah, she's 5, so it'll take probably maybe a very colorful chaos army or something like that.
Yeah, there you go.
Like Slanesh cult. Just put whatever you want.
I was gonna say, like, you know, those Slanesh would probably be the best. She doesn't know what she's painting yet, so it's all good, you know.
Yeah.
But the colors would work.
Look, Daddy, he's naked.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's your what did you say? Wife or girlfriend?
Girlfriend.
Has she also tried it?
Well, you know what? She's only painted maybe 1 miniature, but we work together at a miniature company, and she does resin production. So she actually makes miniatures. She doesn't sculpt them, but she makes the molds. She pours the resin and stuff. So she's actually helped me make a few bits that I've needed.
Cool.
Which has been great. Yeah. And she's all into the miniatures and everything, but it's not really her hobby. You know, she rather work on her own art when she's home.
Cool.
Yeah.
Which company is it?
We work.
Censorship. By authority of the Holy Inquisition, this information is suppressed.
Ah.
I don't know if I should be. Yeah, I'm sure it's fine. No secrets.
Yeah. Yeah. I just like write a disclaimer. I have anyways. I have because a friend of mine told it, because we talk about colors and brushes and stuff. I just need to. I have a disclaimer which says contains unpaid advertisement or something like that, and then I think it's fine anyways.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
What do you do there?
I work in the warehouse, so I don't do like really anything too cool with the models. Although I do get to build them sometimes when they come in. Make sure that they go together right, before we make mass production.
Yeah.
I just do shipping and receiving. But yeah, it's cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I know a few people who work in game shops or Games Workshop, but yeah, that's the first one.
It definitely encouraged me to get back into the hobby because, like, a lot of people there play Warhammer or paint miniatures. So when I got the job, it was around the time that I was getting back into the game.
Yeah.
So it actually kind of went hand in hand. It was like, when your boss encourages you to go buy models with your paycheck, like, it's fun,
Yeah. I guess they know that you paint on a pretty high standard.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry.
Have you painted for the company?
No. They like to show unpainted models, So we don't really show too many like painted models in any images. But I painted a few for them for fun, not for them. But it's funny because I think my standard for painting is very different than the company's, So I don't think it would really work together.
Okay.
Which is fine. And I've never really wanted to paint that way anyway. Really clean but the models are great. I really not advertising here, but they are fun to paint,
Yeah, not advertising, but they are the best.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
No, yeah, but I know I understand what you're. It's like with Games Workshop, they do everything in a certain way.
Yeah.
And yeah, I know people who work there who, when they paint for the shop or for the company, they do it completely different than they paint for themselves. Yeah,
totally. Yeah, a lot of people have asked me like, "Oh, why don't you paint for like Games Workshop or the company or whatever?" And it's like, oh, not really my style.
Yeah, they wouldn't want it.
I don't want to mix work and my hobby really because it's already pretty mixed, But yeah, this is more of a release than I don't want to do it for work. I don't want to do commissions personally.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah,
I do like doing trades though. The trade I did with you and was really fun, and I'm open to more trades. I think I'm supposed to do one with Dietmar actually. I'd love to do one with you as well.
Yeah. I sent you the one for you, right?
Yeah, I just saw that one today. Yeah, it's awesome. I love the trades.
Yeah, it was so much fun. I since my childhood, trading was. Yeah, I love it.
I don't think I ever traded when I was younger. I think we were all like too focused on like, this is mine.
Yeah, no, I was always like the bigger kids from my neighborhood. I thought they had the cool toys because it was the cool big kids playing with them.
Right.
And then I was trading my toys with them. They were of course ripping me off because they were smaller and more. But it was like, yeah, I got it from him. And somehow it didn't take the magic from trading stuff.
That's good.
Yeah. Also with the reenactment hobby, we do a lot of stuff on our own, and then there's always someone who can do something you can't, and then trading back and forth. Yeah.
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, that's like, I feel like I do a lot of trades just with talking shop, you know, like trading secrets or paint schemes or details. So it's fun to just like also have that miniature in your hand and see like up close, like, oh, this is how he did this. Or I like, you know, like I have Ewan's model right here on my desk, and I have another friend who I did a trade with, both Black Templars, and they're so different.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
Yeah. That's the interesting part of it. I posted it today. I did a trade with a friend of mine who's also a tattoo guy, Chris, the Unbroken Blade on Instagram. And he made the Carcharodon Sergeant for me. And I didn't tell him. I just made a new army list for Kill Team, and I needed a sergeant exactly with that kit. And he, just accidentally built it for me and painted it. And he painted and built it so much different than I would have done it.
Right.
So, yeah, that's
awesome. It's the one that he's like looking and talking into the screen, right?
Yeah.
On his arm. Yeah, that came out really cool.
Yeah, and and he sculpted all the like shark teeth on the pauldron. Gave me the spare ones in a small plastic bag.
Oh, that rules.
Yeah, I wouldn't have done it.
Right on.
Yeah, I just threw took a body, put some glue on it, threw it in my bits box, and whatever stuck to it for the Nurgle Marine. Yeah, it was also great fun. It was very, very different from what I usually do.
Yeah, I haven't seen you. You don't ever paint Death Guard, do you?
Never did before.
Well, yeah, yours came out awesome. I love the big like bloated looking one too. Like those are the cool looking Death Guard to me.
Yeah, I bought a bunch of these the torsos for a Mordheim project, which I never really started. Just bought the bodies, so I thought, maybe. Yeah, and I've been thinking about building Thunder Warriors for years now, and those would also be probably the torsos I would use.
Yeah, I love those torsos. They just look so I don't know, like old regal, but like you can make them dark and like, you know. I feel like if you were a big guy in the Middle Ages, you definitely had some wealth.
Yeah.
So something to say about that.
Yeah, especially when you said you've been to the museum in New York, and there are quite a few sets of
censorship. By authority of the Holy Inquisition, this information is suppressed.
Being in London, in the Tower of London, they have a very big collection of sets of armor. And then there is a gallery of armor just from Henry VIII. I think it's like 3 or 4 complete sets. And he must have been like at least almost 2 meters. And he got pretty fat during over the course of his life. And I don't actually know if he's ever been on the battlefield, but he must have looked like a giant. Yeah, like the one Astartes within like regular army. It's amazing, very beautiful.
Standing on the hilltop with a hammer, just intimidating foes. That's cool.
Nurgle champion, complete Nurgle champion. Also, he had syphilis and.
There you go.
And got bloated.
Nurgle's gifts.
Yeah. What kind of the other day while painting, my favorite light broke. Unfortunately, now I can't set it like that. It always falls off, falls over. Unfortunately, which kind of light do you use when you are painting? I never paid attention to it for like almost, I don't know, 15 years. And then I just thought maybe it would be better for my eyes and everything, and also for my minis when I invest in proper light.
Yeah.
And it is. So I got really interested in what kind of light people use.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the most important part, painting, just to be able to see what you're doing. I have 2 desk lamps. They're completely different, but they both hang over the top of my desk from either side. What is this? This one has a hilarious name. It's called Milady. It's like a circular lamp. I'm actually using it to light me right now because it's kind of dark in here. It's just a circle lamp. It like goes over the top of my desk. And then I have like a longer one. I'll see. I can.
Yeah. Can you? Is it like the circle where you can look through?
Yeah. But I've never used it that way. Just because I feel like I get messed up if I look through it. But then there's this one. This is just like a standard kind of daylight. This one's doesn't cover that much, but yeah, both of them together work really well. And I can get 2 different light sources too. So if I want if I want to hit shadows from one end, like turn this one on or the other.
Yeah. Do you are they both like a whitish daylight, or can you like switch the tone?
Yeah. So the long one is just one tone. It's just daylight, and then the circle one I can change to like 3 different tones, and it has a dimmer too. So it has like this is on the lowest dimming setting right now, and it can get brighter. So that one's great for like changing up how you want to feel. I usually keep it on the daylight one though.
Yeah.
Just for
somehow it depends on my mood. I could also from very light, bright white to very yellowish, and from very bright to almost dark. You could dim it down. And you also use it as a lighting source for taking pictures. But the stand of it which broke, it had to break at some point. So maybe I try the circular one.
Yeah, that one's like it's just a desk lamp, so it just sits on top, and it like moves just a little bit, just the top. And then this one has like has a cable thing that you can bend and turn whichever way. So it's not going to break. It's like clamped on my desk. So yeah, they've been great. The only problem is if they ever burn out, I have no idea what lights they'll use. So I'll probably just have to get a brand new one.
Yeah, it would probably be cheaper than getting a new lamp.
Truly, I think I spent these were like maybe $20 each.
Yeah.
So really cheap.
Yeah. I have daylight lamps for the shop. And it was, I think they came in 2 lamps for I don't know, $25, and they hold for like a year, and then the bulbs break, and you have to buy whole new lamps because one bulb costs just as much as 2 new lamps.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Seems like
it's a waste.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense, but that's the kind of world we're living in, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you planning to do? As you said before that you are working on or thinking about doing Tyranids.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I might have. This is a problem with Warhammers. Everything looks cool to me, so I really do want to paint everything. So buying a box of one thing and like trying it out isn't usually a big problem for me because I'll still have fun or try a new technique. But yeah, after painting like 30 Tyranid troops, I kind of over it. I think the next army I want to do is, I've been thinking a lot about doing Custodes. I never really liked the models before, but this guy, Pastor Levac on Instagram, he has some of the coolest Custodes I've ever seen. They're like super Grimdark, and every time I look at them, makes me want to try it. So I might be ripping him off soon. He also has the most beautiful Dark Angels and Sisters of Battle armies ever.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be coming back to him later because I think I'm going to shout him out.
Cool.
Yeah. But yeah, I really want to do like, I also Custodes are cool because they're so small. Like you only need like a small amount of them for 2,000 point army.
Yeah.
So I want to, try new techniques with them, and I won't have to worry about having to paint 100 of them or whatever.
Yeah. I definitely need to look this guy up. I mean, I feel that you hardly see Dark Angels nowadays.
Yeah, they're cool. I mean, the Deathwing I think are so awesome. Like the all Terminators is like such a cool idea. Oh, sorry. And yeah, I mean, also you can make them look. They're very knightly as well, so you can make them look like really, really cool if you really try. Sometimes people like make the like bright green, and that's not really my style. But
yeah,
he makes them look really menacing looking. Like they look more of like the joke that they're heretics. He makes them look like that, which is cool.
Yeah, I can remember the first time I saw a Luther model. It was also a kit bash, like 20 years ago or something, 15 years ago or so. Mm-hmm. And he was also painted in a very, very dark one of green. It looked amazing.
Yeah.
I think they used can't remember the name. It was a special character who was the banner bearer. With he also had a hood, but with a Space Marine helmet on. And I think they drilled out the helmet and glued in face.
That's cool.
That was cool.
Yeah, I feel like I was gonna say I feel like there's a lot of things to do with Dark Angels. Like I think they're set like on the same tier as Black Templars as far as like converting them and making them look like especially grim.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. That'd be a fun army to do too, but I don't want to do Space Marines again right off the bat.
There are so many Space Marines I want to do.
Yeah.
I always wanted to do Flash Terrors.
Cool. Started
building some, but somehow I never pursued it. Now most of my the guys I had built so far went into the Carcharodon project. I want to do next at least a small kill team for Charnel Guard. Also very nice.
Which ones are those?
They are Blood Angels Descendants. They are in the Pentarchy of Blood for the War of the False Primarch.
Oh, okay.
Which is a very cool project that I was invited to work on over the course of this year. And they were also in the Maelstrom Warders in the Badab War until it got too funky for them, and they said, "Okay, fuck this, I'm out."
Right on.
Yeah,
I have to look them up.
And I think they are cool. Right in between, like almost Khorne Berserker, Flash Terrors, and noble Blood Angels
Okay.
thing. They are described as like being very elegant, but yeah, there's something. They're broody, you know.
Right.
Always on the verge to snap. That's why they were in the lore also taken into the Pentarchy of Blood.
Cool. Yeah, I don't know too much about Blood Angels, but they always seemed. I think you talked about this in the last one, but there's very few Blood Angels painters I've found that I like really loved.
Yeah.
But Mig Sula, of course, like
Yeah.
it's funny because he does a great job on those, but I'm not even crazy about the candy color armor. But I love his Death Company. Look really cool.
Yeah.
But his candy, the candy cut armor like looks amazing, and he does it well. But yeah, Blood Angels, like I don't know, something about painting red armor to me. I haven't found a scheme I like yet.
Yeah, there are a few people who can like just pull it off like this.
Yeah.
The last time, the guy I was, I couldn't remember the name. It was Death of a Rubicist. I think that's how it's pronounced correctly. He's also on Instagram, and yeah, he's the guy who is organizing the whole War of the False Primarch project, and yeah, he also made very cool, very old school second edition Warhammer 40k Blood Angels army.
Oh, you know what? I think I've
amazing.
seen it. He has like the yellow helmets and everything, and
Yeah.
is that like the green bases?
Yeah.
I think I do follow him. Yeah, I love that style. I love the throwback. That's great.
Yeah. Yeah, and he just recreated old artwork.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like that classic. Like what is it? The second edition box art is Blood Angels. Another great image. It's funny how that one was almost too clean, and then it got dirtier, then clean again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, it was very clean, but for the time, love it, and everything was painted by hand. That's even if it's obviously you can still see that they were in development of the aesthetic of power armor, for example.
Mm-hmm.
But alone the fact that it was all painted by hand, no computers involved and stuff. It's like with old Magic the Gathering cards.
Right.
The current artwork is so amazing, of course, but the old hand painted stuff.
Yeah, it's funny to think about that. Like as a kid, I never even thought. I was like, oh my god, how do they paint these so small? But like, I'd love to see the actual Magic cards because they're probably huge.
I guess. Yeah.
Like, there's got to be a gallery of them somewhere. It'd be amazing to see all that. Like the giant artwork, actually.
Yeah.
Can't really even see that much detail on them, but they were so detailed.
Yeah. Except there a few were just I think it was even banned, or they had to change the artwork because there was a burning pentagram in the background of one of the very old cards. Was it Dark Ritual, the first one? Something like that. And yeah, of course. And it's so plain, but still amazing. Cheesy as F-U-C.
Gotta keep those kids away from Satan.
Yeah. And no Dungeons and Dragons and stuff like that. Man. Yeah, unfortunately, my parents were never like that. But the parents of a friend of mine.
See, I had really Christian parents, and the fact that they let me get into Warhammer, I don't think they really understood what they were doing. I think because of my friend who got me into it, they trusted him and his family, and they probably just saw. Oh, you know what I remember is So my dad's family's from Malta, and he saw the Maltese crosses on the Black Templars. He thought that was really cool, and I was like, yeah, see, they're Maltese, and I think I convinced them that way.
Yeah. Same with me. That's with the because of the Knights Hospitaller.
Oh, right on.
They had it's the same.
Yeah, the tabards and flags and everything.
Yeah. Only white cross, but
right.
Same shape of it.
I mean, yeah, it's classic.
As we are again talking about the appeal of the Black Templars, I want to come back to the Grimdark thing. What's for you the essence of Grimdark?
Oh,
that's a tough one.
Yeah, it's a hard question. Skulls. No, I don't know. Like, I was trying to think of the right answer to this question, but I just keep going back to, well, Grimdark, I think is like, we have to remember that this is all satire, and it's like, it's like a mirror image of like real stuff that has happened and like continues to happen. So it really is just like a satirical look at, all this crazy stuff that happened in the world.
Totally.
Which the world is a dark place,
Yes, it is.
And like, I won't get political or religious or anything, but a lot of crazy things have happened because of religion. And I think that's what Grimdark is really all about, just fanaticism and like total radicalism. I mean, like in the beginning of the 3rd edition book, it says enter at your own perils, It's just like true. It's like we're entering a crazy world. But yeah, I don't know. I guess it's like I really